So, can you tell us the difference between RepRap project and the maker board?
So this is audio?
This is video. I'm just using the audio.
You're just using the audio. So, when MakerBot, before there was MakerBot, there was the RepRap project. And I met Zach Hoken-Smith, and I said, what do you make? And he said, I make self-replicating machines. And I said, how can I help? And so he was working on, pre-RepRap, what we called rep strap machines, which were made out of plumbing material, and the McWire bots. And we got that to the point where it almost worked. We didn't know how to do it. Zach did the electronics, and the first couple versions just, caught on fire really easily.
That's what's happened.
And we got to, with Gen 3 electronics, they worked. And we also had I think we have the second Darwin, and it's on a shelf back in Brooklyn now. And we got the Darwin to work for about 5 minutes before it failed catastrophically. We fixed it, and it went for another 5 minutes, failed catastrophically. After doing that for literally about a year, we thought, okay, this self-replication thing is really hard. When you have the constraint that the machine you're making has to self-replicate, it's just a hard design constraint. And actually, like the Prusa Mendel and the Huxley address this pretty well. And now there's like PrinterBot, which is in theory a RepRap, and these kind of very low-end machines that are finding ways to do this very cleverly. But we were doing this in 2005, 2006, 2007, and then 2008 as well, and it was just hard. So we decided, when we had a machine that almost worked, and Zach was running the RepRap Research Foundation, and basically spent a year doing all this research and development and product design, and working 8-hour days on top of his regular day, and not making any money for it, that we had to find a way, if we were going to spend all of our time dedicated to bringing 3D printing to the world, we needed to find a way that we could actually pay rent. So we quit our jobs, started MakerBot, and shifted our focus away from doing self-replicating 3D printers to doing a 3D printer that we could make with the laser cutter we had on hand, and as many off-the-shelf parts as possible. So
the mission of the MakerBot, if you could describe.
Our mission is to we want everybody to have a 3D printer so they can make the things they need instead of having to go buy them. So we're kind of a little bit weird that way, because we're a consumer company that sells an anti-consumerist product.
You're from Brooklyn, right?
We're from Brooklyn. Look out.
How much is the printer?
So this machine is our biggest printer. You can make things the size of a loaf of bread, and you can make things in 2 colors with the dual extrusion option, and it comes assembled. So it's $17.49 for single extrusion and $19.99 for dual extrusion. And it's interesting, we were selling our Thingmatic kit for $2,500 assembled, but this machine we designed to be easy to assemble. So that machine would take people between 20 to 40 hours to assemble. This machine we can put together in just a few hours. So it means that not only, for me it's a little sad that we're not selling kits anymore, but on the other hand, we get to sell a machine that we can put together. We can do we actually have a quality assurance team now to make sure that when you get it, it'll have been tested and it'll work. And that means we're going to save time on support and all that kind of stuff.
But you're addressing more broader audiences with this, right?
Yeah, we want to hit when we started, it was kind of engineering types, tinkerers, DIY folks. Now we want to have it so that kids can just do it, and it's just something they do. It's not something that's hard to do. We want it to just be accessible so that kids grow up thinking, oh, I don't need to buy that. I can just MakerBot that.
That's it. The idea is amazing. Even though $1,700 or $19, it's still lots of money.
Yeah.
Is it why is that so? Is it I understand that the development, and it's a hard work. Do you think what kind of shift are you expecting with the price?
It's
because a toy for $1,700 is still expensive stuff.
Well, it's interesting. When the Apple II Plus came out, it was in today's dollars like $6,000 or $7,000.
Yeah, but there was
That was an even more expensive toy.
definitely, but that was because the price wasn't built on the cost. It was really overpriced machine.
Yeah.
Like heavily overpriced machine. Even Steve Jobs didn't agree with that price that time.
So what we've done is we made a machine, and then in order to figure out how much we should make it cost, we took all of our costs and we bundled them into our costs, and then we had to add a little bit so that we could pay rent, pay health insurance, pay taxes, and continue to develop.
In America.
I know. Shocking concept.
All right. How is it with the licensing? Is it open source?
Yeah, we're obsessively open source. So, it's interesting. We actually call people to task when they make improvements. We say, hey, you have to publish this. One of the challenges I have to the RepRap community is there's so many RepRap derivatives out there that are like literally RepRap derivatives that that aren't sharing back, that aren't sharing their design plans. And one of the things that, if I could go back in time and to my time when I was involved in the RepRap group, I wish I would have been a little bit more hardcore about making people who are making derivatives obey the license. I think that's one of the main challenges for RepRap going forward is, there's right now I'm seeing people take RepRaps and put them in a box and sell them as their own kit without maintaining the license. I think that's going to be a challenge for the RepRap community. We've got an open source license where it's GPL v3, so there's no really great hardware license, to be honest. Like, hardware is kind of in this weird territory between patents and design patents and copyright and all this kind of stuff, because practical objects, actually, things that are like tools and like handbags, you actually really can't protect the IP on them very well at all anyway.
The backpacks kind of look the same.
Yeah, and literally nobody, it's just, so what we do have, one of the things that's interesting is we actually have a trademark on MakerBot. And so you are absolutely welcome to make a MakerBot, and we share all the design files, and so you can actually do it without us. Like, a handful of people have done it, and we think that's cool. And these people actually always give so much back to the community and so much back to the project that it makes it something. It's one of the reasons we do open source, is because the community contributes back, and it's awesome. Like, every company has to decide, like, should we keep the IP secret and lock it down and make it so people can't copy us? And we've made the decision to make it open and encourage people to copy us and make derivatives and benefit from all of our research and development, which is a lot. But what we get back for that is we have the coolest people in the world are in our community, and they contribute back to the project and kick ass because it's theirs. When it's open source, you own it.
So it happened, like especially with this product, is the part of it the result of somebody's collaboration that added into it and was as good that you incorporated actually into the product?
So with the RepRap, we actually broke off and we have a completely different machine. The RepRap was, so we took a lot of it was a 3D printer, and there were electronics that we developed. When we developed the MakerBot, it's really a different machine. We made it laser cut, we flipped the XY to the bottom with the cupcake and the Thingomatic. Now we flipped it back up to the top to have a more contemporary gantry system. But we still look back to our roots with the RepRap with a fondness. Those days were some of our best days, where we were literally trying to get a RepRap to work. We literally had spent a few years trying to get a machine to work. People today, like, you just get a Prusa Mendel, you print that thing out, you're going to be able to get it to work in, 1 to 6 months if you haven't done it before, less if you've done it before. Back in the day, we spent 3 years and we got it to work for 5 minutes. So it's a different world now. I kind of miss those days where it doesn't work again. Let's try something else. Because there's something magical about that spirit of when you're at R&D and you know, we weren't engineers at all, but we were going to keep trying this until it worked. There's a magicness to that, and I think MakerBot operators get that when they make things, because they try things out. Like this world that I'm holding in my hand there's actually 2 STL models that are put together. To do that, we had to do some really clever stuff. It's kind of like shuffling when you shuffle cards to make it so that when you do each layer, you can actually get each color at a time. MakerBot operators today have to do a lot of stuff that's different from making the printer. They get to do all sorts of experimentation with how to use the printer and how to make it, how to expand the territory of what you can make with it.
Is it still fun?
Oh yeah, it's just different. It's a different type of fun. I mean, back in those days, it was like when we first started MakerBot, we didn't have to worry about how to pack and ship things.
Sure.
We built our prototype in 3 months. We're like, okay, it's worked for a few minutes. Let's ship it, and then we had to spend the next year learning how to frickin' pack and ship. It turns out, which is non-trivial, it is so hard to.
But you learn everything. It's the best from the bottom. And for how long did the company MakerBot is alive with the products ready to ship? Is it?
We started MakerBot in January of 2009, so the company is 3 years old. We launched I think we launched the cupcake on March 10th or something, 2009, and then there was
a boom because you are pretty famous all over in Europe as well. The period of time that you became, because the 3D printing is in now, it's really a big thing.
I think so, yeah.
So I guess the timing for you was perfect, right?
I don't know if it's a question, did we just arrive at the right time and the market wanted it? Or did we arrive and create something that the market wanted? I'm not sure which one it is, but we're doing our best.
How many of these you shipped already?
When we 7,000. 7,000 and a bit.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay, so how is going to look at the next one?
The next one will be on the moon and printing out the moon base for us.
That's what I expected.